Historical Society held its annual Harvest Fest, and Waynesburg University held its 5K race during homecoming weekend.
Hearing aids are now available over the counter, and applications for student debt relief have been released nationwide. All this and more right here on WCTV.
And now, your 5 o'clock news on Channel 14.
Hello and welcome to WCTV Channel 14. I'm Michael Leith.
And I'm Caleb Yager. It's been a fall staple for half a century here in Greene County, the annual Harvest Fest held at the Greene County Historical Society Museum. Rebecca Vaughn reports.
It's officially fall here in Greene County, and the local Greene County Historical Society spent a weekend celebrating the season and the local history of the area. On Saturday, October 8th, the Greene County Historical Society Museum kicked off their 51st annual Harvest Fest. The festival ran weekend long, allowing guests to jump back into the past for 2 days.
We have live entertainment in the barn and on the grounds. We have vendors scattered about the grounds. We have demonstrations with cornmeal grinding, blacksmith, Native American reenactors. One of our biggest features is the W&W Railroad. We have the number 4 steam engine, so that's another big attraction. We have it out for everyone to look at and see.
This is the biggest fundraising event of the year for the Historical Society, raising money to keep the old Poor Farm up and running for educational tours and other experiences.
We have to keep the building going, we have to keep the organization going so that we can continue to offer the experience for people to come here. We also do presentations throughout the year that we again do not charge for, so we're able to keep those free to the public.
All while sharing and preserving the long history of Greene County.
The building itself has its own history, and then we have just hundreds of thousands of artifacts from around Greene County that are also part of the history. So it is very important for people to come here and experience the history of the building and to experience the history of the artifacts that are in it.
Along with the different demonstrations throughout the weekend, Civil War era reenactments took place in the grounds of the Historical Society as well. The Greene County Historical Society has demonstrations and other teachings throughout the year, so keep an eye on their Facebook page for more information on those. Reporting in Greene County for Channel 14 News, I'm Rebecca Vaughn.
An organization that takes care of neglected horses held an open house to increase community involvement. Caleb Yager has more on that story.
Well, there's not much horsing around here going on in Greene County at Save a Horse Stables. But because of this impactful organization, guys like these can have a home.
Just 10 minutes down the road from Waynesburg University lies a quaint, hidden gem in Greene County. Save a Horse Stable has been around since 1982, and on Sunday, October 9th, the stable held its 6th annual open house for guests in the community. It may be small, but the mission is far from it.
Our goal is to take abused and neglected horses and give them a new life. But I only take horses that have a really good reason. And today's our fundraiser for the last of the year to help make us through the winter.
For $20, guests could eat a warm, home-cooked meal, sign up for raffle baskets, take a scenic wagon ride to see breathtaking fall foliage, and of course, see some horses.
This is their forever home before they cross the Rainbow Bridge. This is where they stay. They're here to be happy for the rest of their life.
In front of each animal, a laminated paper depicts the backstory of each horse, or yes, donkey, so that guests can really understand how neglection, starvation, and other hardships have affected these animals. But the animals are quite pampered once they get here.
They nurse them back to health. They have the blacksmiths come in. They get them tended to. We have the dentists come. I've even seen the chiropractor come and adjust some of the horses, which was very interesting. They really care about the horses' health and well-being, and they don't want them to suffer at the end of their life.
The stable has changed more than just the lives of the animals that it shelters.
It gives me a place to come where I feel like I'm contributing, but I also get to be close to my grandpa's donkey. I love it here. Like, it's peaceful. Like if I got a lot on my mind, I just come and hang out with the horses and it's calming.
Save a Horse Stables is a little tucked away, but once you get out here, it's worth every moment. Reporting for WCTV in Greene County, I'm Caleb Yager.
Last week marked the final round for Woo Idol. Kaylin Elliott reports.
4 of Waynesburg's most talented performers took to the stage last Friday, battling it out to see who would be crowned the next Waynesburg Idol. The final round was judged by biology professor Christopher Hayes, resident director Thomas Hyland, and previous Woo Idol winner and housing director Heidi Desiak. 4 contestants remained after the previous round when senior Emmanuel Esper and junior Rachel Redinger were eliminated. Singers performed a song of their choice this week, ranging from musical hits to Italian opera. A special performance was given by Judge Heidi Desiak. She performed This Is Me from the well-known movie The Greatest Showman.
I love being on the stage just because it's something very different. The energy you feel on stage is just like no other. So getting to come back and perform is always a special treat. Awesome.
Much anticipation. Freshman Amanda Rhines was announced the winner of Woo Idol and received a monetary award. Junior Trisha Serrata was the first runner-up. Following Serrata was senior Tess Marlin as second runner-up. Kaylin Elliott reports.
It's been a tradition for Waynesburg University presidents for years, competing in the Homecoming 5K. See how President Lee and all the other athletes competing did in this year's race.
It's a yearly tradition. The Homecoming 5K held early in the morning on Homecoming Saturday.
Everybody's inspired, charged up. It's early in the morning and we're all together.
No matter how people finished, whether it was a sprint, a jog, or a walk, racers participated in a long-standing homecoming tradition.
We had about 70 pre-registered individuals, so really great turnout, and we had a few show up that just registered on site, so I'll be anxious to see how many that ended up being. This is my first year. Pat Brister has oversaw it the last 25, so this is the first year that the Center for Service Leadership is managing it.
President Lee, on the other hand, has competed in the race for years.
I'm thinking maybe 22 years or so. It's been a while. A lot slower this year than other years, though.
The winner of the race, a cross-country runner, Luke Weisel.
It was still pretty cool that I got to win it.
The course for the race looped around campus, finishing in front of the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse. Although the temperature hovered in the low to mid-40s, racers said the temperature did not play much of an impact.
Once you start running, the temperature goes away. I know my high school coach said sometimes they had states in November, and it was snow on the ground, and people would be wearing hats and gloves, and then as soon as they started running, there were just piles and piles of hats and gloves on the sidelines.
I started out to stay warm, and then, got warm as I was running, so I had to tie things around me.
Reporting for WCTV, I'm Micah Leaf. Now, the 5K isn't the only homecoming event that is held. The homecoming king and queen is named at halftime of the football game. This year's king and queen, Becky Shank and Gabe Reed. The rest of the court is made up of Adam Hartnett, Ali Camisa, Emmanuel Lesperry, Tess Marlin, Paige Mattis, Logan Wilson, Caleb Yager, and Maggie Staines.
After the Homecoming 5K, President Lee spoke about the importance of homecoming and what it means to him as president.
This is a time when we celebrate the Waynesburg University community, getting everyone back together. It is so fun to be the president on days like this. Actually, I love being the president all the time, but moments like this when everybody's together is great.
Homecoming festivities lasted 4 days, including reunion luncheons, trivia events, and sporting events all day Saturday. For full homecoming coverage, visit the Yellow Jackets website.
Waynesburg University is holding 2 job fairs in the coming weeks. The first, the Criminal Justice Job Fair, will be held on October 26. Around 50 law enforcement agencies are expected to attend, and students will have the opportunity to explore possible job options. The second fair is tailored towards students entering the healthcare field. That fair is being held on November 2nd.
And that is all for campus news. When we come back, we'll have news from around the nation. This is producer Caleb Yager, and you are watching The Buzz. And welcome back to the newscast here on WCTV. In July, President Joe Biden signed an executive order meant to promote competition, encouraging the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to allow hearing aids to be sold over the counter. The FDA announced the rule change in August, and beginning today, for the first time, American adults with mild to moderate hearing loss can buy assistive hearing devices in stores and online. Ivan Rodriguez is in Washington with the details.
We have big news today, and that is going to benefit as many as 30 million Americans.
For the first time, hearing aids can now be purchased over the counter without a prescription, exam, or fitting, following an August rule change by the FDA.
The people most helped are adults with mild to moderate hearing loss who might not take that first step.
The White House says hearing aids will soon be available at major retailers, including Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, and Best Buy, and claim this could save people as much as $3,000 per year.
That's thousands of dollars going back into the pockets of Americans.
Experts say leaving hearing loss untreated could be detrimental to overall health. Studies have shown some links to dementia, poor mental health, and increased risks of falls.
Hearing health is part of overall wellness, just as is your blood pressure, cholesterol, your weight, everything else, to staying fit.
Many hope that increased availability of hearing aids will also help remove the stigma attached to wearing devices, while the increased competition could lead to cheaper, better technology in the future.
The future is bright in how we can use them and how they might be impacting our ability to track our health.
In Washington, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
NASA's Webb telescope has captured a jaw-dropping image of the iconic Pillars of Creation. 6,500 light years away, this spectacular celestial formation, where new stars are formed, was first imaged by the Hubble telescope in 1995. The James Webb Space Telescope's near-infrared camera captured the Pillars of Creation in a way they've never been seen before. Although the arches and spires look solid, they are actually semi-transparent clouds of dust and gas, and stars are ever being formed in that nebula. NASA hopes that studying the Pillars of Creation, that they'll have a better understanding of how the stars are formed.
New research released Tuesday shows people 50 and older who get less than 5 hours of sleep a night are more at risk of having serious health problems. The British-based study, published in the journal PLOS Medicine, examined the sleep habits of nearly 8,000 people. Researchers found people 50 and older who didn't get enough winks had a 30% higher risk of developing diseases such as cancer, heart disease, stroke, dementia, and other chronic conditions, compared with people who slept about 7 hours a night. The study found the risk continued to increase for sleep-deprived people as they got older. People in their 70s had a 40% higher risk of developing a serious medical problem.
McDonald's and Krispy Kreme are testing out a new sweet team-up. Tuesday, the new companies announced McDonald's will start selling Krispy Kreme donuts at 9 locations across the Louisville, Kentucky area. It is part of a small test for the companies. The select restaurants will carry 3 of Krispy Kreme's most popular pastries, including its original glazed donut. The sweet treats will be delivered fresh every day to the locations, and customers will be able to buy them all day while supplies last. The new menu additions will only be available for a limited time. Krispy Kreme says customers can expect them to make their Mickey D's debut starting October 26.
A Wisconsin group is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to block President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness program. The Brown County Taxpayers Association filed a request for the court to step in on an emergency basis and temporarily block the program from taking effect. They claim it violates the separation of powers by encroaching on Congress's exclusive spending power. The group filed to request its Justice Amy Coney Barrett after a federal judge dismissed its case and an appeals court refused in its emergency request for a pause. The filing claims if the court does not intervene, students' loan cancellation could begin as soon as October 23rd. Applications for student loan forgiveness officially open Monday. And that's all for national news. When we come back, Madeline Verhoff will be here to give you your business and entertainment update. But first, we do have a look outside with Brock Owens to give you a brief glimpse of the weather.
The last few days, the weather here in Waynesburg has felt a little more like winter than fall, but today we have a beautiful fall day. We're in the 50s and the wind is blowing a little bit. The sun is shining but the next couple of days is not going to feel quite as much like fall as we inch into the 70s. I'll have a 7-day forecast coming up right here on WCTV.
This is producer Caleb Yager, and you are watching The Buzz.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Madeline Verhoff and this is your business and entertainment update. An actor known for Star Wars and Indiana Jones movies is taking on not another franchise but a universe. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Being part of a story that as complex and as interesting to me as this was the real draw.
Harrison Ford is joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe. According to multiple reports, Ford will take over the role of General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, beginning with Captain America: New World Order, due out in 2024. He'll take over the MCU role from William Hurt, who died in March. Members of K-pop supergroup BTS are joining the military. South Korean law requires almost all able-bodied men to complete 18 months of military service. Jin, the oldest member of the group, aims to start the process at the end of this month, with others joining at different times. Their label, Big Hit Music, expects BTS to reconvene in 2025.
When I grow up, once upon a time, there was a little girl who was trapped. This is the story of her great escape.
Here's your first look at Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical, based on the award-winning stage show, with Alicia Weir as Matilda, Latasha Lynch as Miss Honey, and Emma Thompson as Miss Trunchbull. Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical debuts December 25th on Netflix. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Netflix apparently has a plan in place to crack down on password sharing starting next year. The streaming giant shared more details of its plan during Tuesday's earnings report. The company says two features it started testing earlier this year to combat shared accounts will be broadly implemented in 2023. Back in March, Netflix started testing extra member and profile transfer features in Chile, Costa Rica, and Peru. The profile transfer feature allows users to transfer their current profiles to a new paid account. For those who want to continue to share their account with family and friends, the extra member option allows users to create sub-accounts under their main account for an additional fee. No word on what that fee will be, but during the testing, it cost around $3 in Costa Rica. Netflix also reported Tuesday that it gained 2.4 million subscribers in its third quarter, which far exceeded their expectations. They also say they're more likely to add 4.5 million subscribers in their next quarter. President Joe Biden's details in his administration's new plans to combat what you pay at the pump. Gas prices, which peaked over the summer at more than $5 per gallon, have since then declined. But the war in Ukraine, along with OPEC's recent decision to slash production, is creating uncertainty. Ivan Rodriguez is in Washington to break down the administration's moves and what this could mean for your wallet heading into the holiday season.
President Joe Biden announcing new steps in his administration's ongoing plan to balance the volatile global oil market amid the raging war in Ukraine, while looking to ease soaring gas prices at home.
Gas prices hit almost every family in this country, and they squeeze their family budgets.
The administration hopes the release of an additional 15 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve will be enough to dampen the high prices, but is leaving the door open to releasing an additional supply if necessary.
We're calling it a ready and release plan. This allows us to move quickly to prevent oil price spikes and respond to international events.
Wednesday's announcement also detailed plans to replenish the nation's emergency reserve when prices fall to $70 per barrel, which is now at a 40-year low.
That means oil companies can invest to ramp up production now, With confidence, they'll be able to sell their oil to us at that price in the future.
And put pressure on oil companies to cut costs to consumers.
Bring down the price you charge at the pump to reflect what you pay for the product.
While these moves will take some time to be implemented, AAA says drivers are making adjustments.
Instead of going to the grocery store and maybe going to pick up the kids, you're doing everything at once to try to save on the gas you have.
But will likely be undeterred from making those upcoming holiday road trips.
The desire to get back out there is definitely strong.
In Washington, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Walmart is launching a platform for social media creators and influencers. It will allow them to earn commissions on product recommendations to their followers. They can share product links on any social platform or group of their choice and can use analytics dashboard to track viewership, engagement, and commissions. They can also apply to take part in brand campaigns. There are no minimum social media follower requirements to join the platform and no cap on commissions. The beta version of the platform launches ahead of the busy holiday shopping season, and Walmart plans to fully launch it in 2023. Competitor Amazon launched a creator-driven sales platform called Amazon Influencers 5 years ago. And that's all for your business and entertainment update. When we come back, we'll have Darian Allensworth with sports.
Have you ever been to the Everly Library? If not, you should, because it's great. They have books of all different genres: history, biography, fiction. Try The Evolution of Life, Life of Pi, or Jurassic Park. So what if books aren't your thing? Try movies like Frozen, or TV shows like Lost. Books and DVDs aren't the only thing though. Take a trip to the second floor. Welcome to the Writing Center. These tutors will tell you everything you need to know about writing a paper, and they'll help revise your essays. Now let's head back down. Behold, the Knox Learning Center. Need to print something out 5 minutes before your next class because you procrastinated? No problem. You can also print off pictures of dogs. Because, well, you can. So grab your homework, laptop, and textbook, and study diligently. Bring your lunch too. Actually, you can't. That's illegal. Now you know the Everly Library. Stop by anytime. Seriously, it's open all week.
Hello and welcome. I'm Darian Allensworth, and this is your Waynesburg Sports Update here on Channel 14. The weekend before this past weekend, Waynesburg University's football team fell to Carnegie Mellon at John F. Wiley Stadium in a hard-fought game 27-20. This past weekend, Waynesburg bounced back in enemy territory against Bethany College with a 34-17 win. The Yellow Jackets dominated with their run game, with sophomore Hunter Cameron rushing for 191 yards with 3 touchdowns, while graduate student Nick Hall ran for 108 yards with 19 carries. Hunter Cameron was named Waynesburg Male Athlete of the Week, as well as President's Athletics Conference Offensive Player of the Week due to his outstanding performance. With that win, Waynesburg improved to 2-2 in the PAC and 3-3 overall, which puts them 5th in the PAC standings. Waynesburg looks to build on their recent success with a win on the road against Teal coming up this Saturday evening, with the game set to start at 7. Our very own Brock Owens and Caleb Yager will have the call at Teal on WCYJ-FM 99.5 The Hive with Logan Lepiscopo in the studio. We have some Yellow Jacket football players who were recognized for their individual performances recently by the PAC. Last week, sophomore wide receiver Dakota Romantino was named to the D3 football team of the week for his 213 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns against Carnegie Mellon. While this week, senior defensive tackle Joel Zellum was named to the team after his 8 tackles and a fumble recovery that set up a touchdown drive that helped lead to a win against Bethany. The Waynesburg women's volleyball team's struggles continue, as in their last 4 games they are 1-3. In their games on October 11th and 13th, Waynesburg was swept 3-0 against their opponents Geneva and St. Vincent respectively. Then Waynesburg snapped a 12-game losing streak on October 15th at the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse with a 3-0 sweep over Franciscan. Senior Alexis Marsh and freshman Paige Mortimer both led the way with 6 kills each. Marsh also added 25 digs to her stat line that helped her case for receiving Waynesburg's Female Athlete of the Week. Unfortunately, though, Waynesburg fell back into the losing column yesterday, losing 3-0 against the Washington and Jefferson Presidents. Waynesburg currently is second to last in the PAC with a 1-6 conference record with only Westminster below them. The Yellow Jackets look to keep the Titans winless in their conference when they play them this Saturday. The Waynesburg men's and women's soccer teams are currently in slumps as they are both on losing streaks. The men's soccer team have lost their last 4 games with losses to Allegheny 1-0 on October 8th, to Bethany College 6-0 on October 12th, and October 15th at home on their senior night they lost versus Westminster 3-1 and 4-0 loss against Grove City just yesterday. Waynesburg is 1-4-3 in the PAC, which puts them 9th in the standings. They look to end the losing streak against Franciscan next Monday at John F. Wiley Stadium, where then afterwards will finish the regular season next Wednesday versus Geneva. The women's soccer team have lost their last 3 games after tying Allegheny on October 8th with a score of 1-1. In the matchup versus Bethany on October 11th, they lost 4-2. Last Saturday on their senior night, they were defeated by Westminster 1-0, and yesterday Waynesburg fell on the road against Grove City 3-0. Waynesburg is currently second to last in the PAC with a 1-4-4 conference record. They look to get a win in a non-conference game versus Penn State Beaver this Saturday at home before wrapping up the regular season at home next Wednesday against Geneva. Waynesburg's men's tennis team lost on October 12th to St. Vincent 7-2. Their lone wins were by junior Ethan Lown, who won both his singles and his doubles match. Waynesburg's women's tennis team fell to Penn State Altoona 8-1, also on October 12th. Senior Marina Hastings won her singles match, getting Waynesburg's only win. Most of Waynesburg's esports teams won their past matches. On October 7th, all 3 Super Smash Bros. Players won 3-0 against their opponents. Sophomore Dane Ciccarello beat Montgomery County Community College's Ramble. Senior Colson Linney beat Montgomery County's The World, and junior Tim Durkin beat Arcadia University's Zombie. Last Friday, Tim was the only one to have a match due to Dane being on a bye week and Colson winning due to a forfeit. But man, was it a nail-biter. After falling 2-0 in the best-of-5 series to Mount Vernon Nazarene University's Budget Viking, Timbo mounted an impressive reverse sweep to stay undefeated. With the win, he stays as one of the 2 remaining undefeated players in the Metropolitan C Division, and all 3 will be back in action tomorrow. Waynesburg's Rocket League team remains undefeated with a 4-0 record in the Emergence Appalachia Division after sweeping East Stroudsburg and New Jersey City in convincing fashion. Their next match is tomorrow at 5 against Eastern University. The Waynesburg League of Legends team fell to Randolph-Macomb 2-0 in a series they never really got into, resulting in a 1-3 record. They will play their next match in a Tuesday rescheduled match against Marywood University, followed with a series against King's College the following day. Waynesburg's Overwatch team will debut today after having to postpone last week. They will take on Huntington at 6 and Louisville at 8. That's all for Waynesburg Sports. Stay tuned for your weather forecast with Brock Owens coming up next here on Channel 14 News.
I'm Brock Owens with your 7-day weather forecast. The last few days have been pretty chilly, and today that hasn't really changed. The high was 53 degrees, and tonight the temperature will drop down to 33 degrees, but there shouldn't be any precipitation. Tomorrow the temperature's on the rise at 63-degree high and a 40-degree low, and once again there really shouldn't be any precipitation in the forecast. Headed into the weekend, Saturday is looking at to be a very good day with a 70-degree high and a 36-degree low and a very sunny sky. And there shouldn't be any rain once again. Sunday looks to be beautiful as well with a nice 69-degree high with a 44-degree low and sun in the sky basically all day. there is a little bit of chance of rain, but once again, that's very unlikely. The weather shouldn't give you the Monday blues to start off next week, with once again no rain in the forecast and a 72-degree high and a 51-degree low. Tuesday, the high stays right around the same at 71 degrees with a 42-degree high. And finally, next Wednesday, we could see some showers in the forecast, but we have a 65-degree high and a 39-degree low. This could be the last time we see 70 degrees this year, but either way, I'm ready to enjoy the warmer weather once again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brock Owens. We got to talk about one thing, though. Krispy Kreme possibly teaming up with McDonald's. What are your thoughts, Micah?
I think it's a great idea, and fun fact, this isn't the first time a fast food restaurant has included donuts into its menu. Back in 2019, KFC incorporated a donut sandwich into its menu. So I'll be curious to see if McDonald's can kind of follow up on that success.
Well, I can only think of one word: calories. What about you guys?
To be honest, I'm not really a big donut guy, so it really doesn't matter to me.
Well, I like donuts, but again, with the McDonald's topic, they're coming out with their little Halloween spooky basket Happy Meals again. So if you're looking for an excuse to go to McDonald's, now's the time.
Unfortunately, we are out of time here on WCTV because we are all hungry, and I bet you are too. But thank you for tuning in to Channel 14 News once again. We'll see you next time.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.